This week is a special Halloween edition of Video Game Takeout. Our game this time is Alone in the Dark, The New Nightmare. An apt title if I ever heard one, but we'll get to that as we go. Let's start at the beginning. There is way too much text in the beginning of this game. Come on guys, let me get into the game already. You can skip back in the text by pressing B, which is nice if you accidentally passed by something you wanted to read, or you just needed to read it again because the font is so hard to read on the Game Boy Color screen. But that's assuming that you even wanted to read this awful dialogue in the first place. This game is like an old adventure game on the PC, which is fine since the series started there, except the graphics are so bad that they wouldn't have passed even back in the adventure game heyday of the early 90s, and this game came out in 2001. The graphics in this game are terrible. I know it's probably some great achievement to get it running on the Game Boy Color, but sometimes there's a reason no one else is doing it. This game is far too ambitious for the hardware, and it shows. I don't think the Game Boy Color is well suited to scaling either. As you come closer to the screen, your guy kinda morphs into a bigger and weirder looking version of himself being a mix between a mannequin and a burn victim. The Game Boy Color just doesn't have enough colors to show the subtle shadows that a game like this needs to be truly creepy. Everything just kinda looks blurry and pixelated. The game is constantly taking you into dialogue scenes and out of the action where you have no interaction and you have to stare at bad pictures and text bubbles. Boring. Plus, every time one of those dialogue boxes comes up, it plays the most repetitive and annoying music ever. It makes you glad to go back to the lack of music in the rest of the game. The game switches into a more overhead view for combat. The combat feels janky and not well thought out at all. It is way too easy to get lost or disoriented in this game because of the bad camera. Often I find myself accidentally going into a room I just left because the camera changes so frequently. Every screen is like 5 steps wide, so the game is constantly zooming in and out of new scenes. It's awful. Plus in some places it has sweet pre-rendered transitions for when it needs to load. That's right, the one thing they ported over perfectly is the need to load between floors. Every item or thing that you're supposed to interact with in the game is a big yellow icon or a large twinkle that you couldn't miss if you tried, so there's no real exploration or accomplishment in the game. All you do is walk around and collect the shiny things, like you're some sort of kleptomaniac. For some reason your guy is always rocking out like he's got Parkinson's disease or something. He never stands still. I think it was supposed to add realism, but I found it to be the creepiest thing in this whole game. And another thing. How many keys can just be laying around in one house? I guess it's a mansion and so it would have more doors and so it would probably need more keys, but what are the chances that you would lose them all one at a time on the outside of the door that they belong to? I'm thinking it's pretty low. But one of my favorite things about this game is that you die if you run out of bullets. Rather than giving you a melee attack, they just decided, hey, if you don't have any bullets, you can't shoot the monsters. If you can't shoot the monsters, you can't finish the game. So, game over. Problem solved. Overall, I couldn't really stand to play this game for very long. So think of these as impressions of the first 2 hours of the game. If it goes on any longer than that, I really don't want to know. As far as I'm concerned, I played it way more than anyone should. As far as survival horror games go, I'd say the only horror in this game is knowing that I had to play it more to review it, and I can't believe I survived it. So in that sense, it was a survival horror game. Other than that, it was just a poorly made game that would have been better suited for a more powerful console. Well, I hope you enjoyed our Halloween episode. Have a great holiday, and we'll see you next week. Until then, I'm Ben. Have a great week.
I ain't afraid of